Yes, we have gone through Bangalore and we've undergone this period of training. When I actually had this exercise in class, I realized it is more or less a kind of a sharing which happens, and then children, and including the circle keeper, which happens to be a teacher, reveals things, shares things which we have never probably spoken to about with anyone in school. And these are very personal, close to the heart kind of experiences. And if that particular topic is raised in a circle, then it was quite heartening to see children open up, and where I for one made very sure, I told them I'm not your English teacher, which otherwise I am when I walk into the class. So I told them very clearly, I'm not your English teacher here, I'm just one of you, I'm one of you. And then that kind of, I think, set the ground rules, and we kind of opened up. I could see the change in the children, the way they were treating me, and I was treating them rather. Because I didn't use any authoritative tone, and there was nothing which made me any different from them. So we had, I think most of us in 9B, we had what is known as this kind of team building, and the qualities were reiterated, and the respect we have for each other.
According to me, the restorative circles are very useful practices which happens among the individuals, the participants, wherein the safe environment is created to share their thoughts and their experiences, to make them very comfortable, and then it develops actually a sort of relationship building is happening in the restorative circles, and also the skills for to solve the challenges, to face the challenges on their own, with the support with one another is being, I can see those things happening in the restorative circles. The children are being more calm now after we had a few sessions of restorative circles.
So it has been very enriching, and one particular incident I would like to share is when in the short break my class had a conflict. There was a conflict in the class, and they just, after the bell, they just came rushing over to me and started complaining. So, and that was the circle time. Yes. So we just sat, they all calmed down and they sat. And they didn't know what was happening. So I just asked them, after a couple of questions, where do you rate yourself? On the scale of 1 to 5, where do you rate yourself? 1 being the best behavior. And I was impressed with the answers they gave. All those who were involved, we have the naughty ones, we have children who try and solve the problems and all. So all of them, they could rate themselves exactly what the others felt about them. And I said, what would you like to do to climb the ladder, climb up the ladder? So they told that how they will rectify their behavior, how they will not use foul words and all those things. And there was another child whom all of us thought was an excellent, behavior-wise. And when it was his turn to share his, to rate himself, he said he rated himself on the scale of 1 to 5 as 3. So then, and they had to reason it out. Why? So he said, I have to become more, social, and he's basically a very quiet child, but very good, very well behaved. experience for me. I didn't have to tell the children that, look, you are wrong and you are wrong and you have to work on your social behavior, or you have to work on you can't be so physical and this. It was sorted out in that circle. So I didn't have to ask them about anything else.
And we know that we teachers are something like we are bound to syllabus, we are bound to our time, that 40 minutes time is very crucial to us. So in a teaching period, we always like, if a student raises his hand, we ask that, we pick that particular child to answer a question. The one thing what I learned from this circle is, some of the students are like, they don't want to show up in a public, they don't want to show up in a crowd, but they have a lot of stuff in their mind. So from these circles, I understood that each and every student is valuable. Each and every student has a stuff which can be shown into the public. So that was one of the major realization what I have got. And for first or second class, I had a trouble, like students were not used to the talking piece. Students didn't have the patience of waiting. Now, due to my life skills sessions, in the regular classes also, students wait for their turn and they answer. That is a drastic change in them, where they are like, yes, I have to listen to others, I should respect their words, later I will put my words.
So as I mentioned earlier, class 7 and class 8, on the whole, I have been having a lot of difficulty managing them with the classes. For class 7, they were very reluctant to do the circles. With class 8, they were trying to test me as to, what is she come here for, why are we doing life skills. Although it seems like a free period, we are not enjoying as such. And so there was a lot of resistance from the class, and everyone were very, either trying to pull me down or trying to tease me, or, create a lot of distraction in class themselves. The major concern one with the class 7 was they were not even ready to make a circle in the start. They preferred sitting on the bench and, table and chair, and they said, this is the way we talk, and I think it's much better for us to talk. Not realizing how the circle actually helps. So there were few students who still said, no, might as well let's put the chairs and tables in place. But now, as I got a suggestion from one of my colleagues who also has been doing the restorative circles, suggested that why don't you ask the children to take, start off doing the circles. I said, I was quite, thoughtful at that point of time, but I did take it up as a task that I can probably do. And when I did that, I actually saw that the students, when they took the circles, although at times they were not able to maintain the, few guidelines or, the piece of the circle, but the questions that they formulated, the thoughts that they came up with, the creative way in which they planned of doing the circle really surprised me, and the students were involved. I could actually see the students being more involved in, doing the circle there. And one small example to give there was when we spoke about the check-in, the feeling check-in. One student said that how about we have small chits where everyone can draw what they are feeling and talk about it. To do that, she went a step further, and in few chits of paper, she wrote quotes for, whoever randomly gets those quotes. It was like quote of the day for those students. And they got this lovely message at the, start of the circle to probably hold in for the whole circle. So that was really nice.
These are very young. They cannot sit for 40 minutes listening to others and in their own places. They just swerve around, sometimes nudge the friends, and that happens. And then some just make a joke about somebody's comment or experience. Those things happen. We as teachers, though other two students themselves are controlling, we as teachers sometimes have to intervene. That's a challenge. I won't be part of the circle then. I will be saying that as an authoritative. That's a challenge. Though I tell them that I'm part of the circle, I cannot remain all the time part of the circle. I have to voice to bring back that discipline. Sometimes it is a challenge. Not all the time. Sometimes.
In the classroom, there were few students who used to name call each other, and they thought it is perfectly alright because they have been doing this from a long time. And there are few children who tell that it is okay to call make my name short. short and call it, because it's not a harm for me. I don't take it offensive, and why should others take it offensive was the issue. So we took it up in the circle, and every one of them, including those who told, had an issue with another nickname. So there are some nicknames that are acceptable for them and some are not acceptable for them. When this came up, the other children also, when this question was addressed to them, they told, it's not what you call me that makes me feel so uncomfortable. It's because I want to be respected. And these words are the words that they have been getting from this life skill circle, because now maybe they have not recognized that it was wrong all these days, but now they start to recognize that, okay, this person is not respecting me because he is not calling me by the name that I am giving. So these things came up in the circle, and also there was this child who told that maybe not every nickname that is called is bullying, and we shouldn't call it a bullying, because it is okay to call something that is sweet to our friends if they are okay with it. It is after this we took up another issue the following week, and it was about consent. So consent, where you can tell no and you are not okay with it, or maybe is still no. So if the person is not comfortable with you calling that name, then it is a clear no, you shouldn't be calling. Okay, if that person wants you to call it and you're comfortable in your friend zone and not in public, it's completely fine, is what we arrived at the end.
Teachers, I would definitely say it's very important to maintain democracy. A child shouldn't feel ma'am is allowing that person to speak more and I have not been given that time. That's the first thing. Next, gradually that responsibility should be handed over to them, because they do it better than us. The circle and framing those questions, because the check-in and check-out, they do it. They do follow whatever I've started, they're following the same thing, closing their eyes. But I always say that you can always come up with your own ideas, because after a certain period of time, things start getting very monotonous. So that's one thing. And yes, one thing I would say that we also have certain personal things that we are sharing with them. So we have to be a bit discreet before immediately don't start with everything serious. Gradually, once they start understanding what a circle is and then the code of confidentiality, which I always say, I don't discuss anything that we are discussing here in my staff room. So I would expect the same thing. And if anyone does, then it's that person's lack of sensibility. So you don't have to feel guilty that, oh my God, I have shared and then it's becoming public. You don't have to feel guilty. That they are understanding. So if someone shares, they are not bothered about that part, as far as I have understood.
Of course, there are some universal human values which I have identified in children. So we always think that the intensity of any value or any feeling is there only in adults, but for my surprise, there were so many emotions coming in, and that's when I thought there is no opening for them to speak out. So that's the reason there have been many behavioral issues that we are facing, because they're not able to come and speak about it. So if it's working for students here, then it should definitely work for other students as well, because there are few experiences that are universal.
Yes, in 2 words, beautiful and peaceful. Beautiful because I got to know my children better. They know me better now, because both of us, we open up in the circles, and they feel good when they see, okay, the teacher also has gone through such things. She also has faced these problems. So they don't feel that I am the only one. And when they share their experiences with me, I feel I'm a part of their life. So it's both ways. That's beautiful and peaceful because I have developed a lot of my peace of mind. It has increased. I've become a better person when it comes to remaining calm in any kind of tough situation. So it's helping me in my personal life as well as my professional life.